Hey guys, it's been a while since I've taught a class. I hope everybody's doing okay. This is trying times. So today I was just thinking a little bit of like a half-hour gentle yoga class, a little bit of grounding, a little bit of connection to get us out of the kind of uncertainty and craziness that's going on right now. Um, so if you need it, feel free, as ever, grab yourself a block, prop yourself up on a block, sitting down, and I have a strap nearby that we'll be using today. So I want you to take a few moments when you sit on the block, make sure that, right, you feel comfortable. So you kind of scooch forward a little bit in your seat and sitting more toward the front of the block and letting your outer thighs drop down. You see how I'm taking a nice wide stride here and allowing your shoulders to draw back, your spine to lengthen, and rest your hands on your lap. And take a few moments, close your eyes. And just allow your ears to align over your shoulders over your hips, and really feel your sits bones root down into the mat. And just start to breathe. If you hear anything in the background, one of the kitties will probably pass in front of a screen. So if he does that, just try to ignore him. And if he doesn't, great. Just go ahead and relax your face. Relax around the eyes, the jaws. Relaxing the shoulders and arms into your hands. And allow your spine to lengthen as your seat roots, pressing your legs down into the mat, and just breathe, allowing each in-breath to expand your abdomen, rib cage, and chest. And each out-breath to create a subtle recoiling inward of the chest, rib cage, and abdomen. Allowing your breath to come freely and fully. Good. And on the next exhalation, let the chin descend toward the chest and feel a stretch along the back of the neck. Allow the shoulders to drop. They will sometimes have a tendency to try to hike up when you go to stretch into your neck. And then we'll inhale, bring the chin up. Draw your shoulders down, find your breath. And then return your head back to center. Good. Now let's drop the left ear toward the left shoulder, or in this case, really feeling the right side of your neck stretch. Relaxing the right and left shoulders and really rooting down into your right side, trying to avoid letting the body tip over to the left. Then inhale, bring the head to center, and then exhale, releasing the right ear toward the left shoulder. So I'm not mirroring you, I'm actually just staying on the actual side of my body that I'm describing. Allow the left shoulder to relax, the left side of your neck to release and stretch. And rooting into the left side of your body. And inhale, return your cervical spine back to center. On the next in-breath, rooting seat, inhale, allow the arms to rise up, the triceps to spiral in, connect your palms overhead. Then as you exhale, bring your hands in prayer down at the center of your chest. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, slowly sweeping your arms up, spiraling your triceps inward, connecting the palms and pinkies overhead. Exhaling, hands in prayer at center. Again, and 1 more time. Inhale, slowly sweeping your arms up, spiraling the triceps inward, connecting the palms and pinkies overhead. And then exhale, hands in prayer at center. Let's release the hands onto the lap, and I'm going to rock forward and come off my block. Feel free to do the same thing if that's comfortable for you. I'm going to just set it aside. And all I've done is just adjust my seat so it can still keep a wide foundation. But now that my back is released, my hips are released, I can kind of root down into the ground. So what I'd like you to do is rock forward a little bit and just gently pull the flesh out from beneath you. And I think you'll see Milo come into the screen shortly. That's Milo, for those of you who may have heard me talk about him, but never met him. Big stretch here, yoga kitty. So we're going to draw the shoulders back. Just rest the hands on your lap for a moment, and then inhale, draw your tailbone back, lift your chest, allow your collarbones to broaden, look up, and then exhale, tilt the tailbone between your thighs, hollow out your belly, round your spine, and look inward. And again, inhale, tailbone back, shoulders back, chest lifts, looking up, and then exhale, tailbone between the thighs, hollow out your belly, round your spine, look inward, maybe nod your head no a little bit as you need to. And 1 more time. Inhale, tailbone back, shoulders back, chest lifts. And then exhale, tailbone between the thighs, hollow out the belly around the spine, look inward. Now let's inhale, restack that spine, and exhale, hinging from your hips. I want you to avoid rounding your spine. Keep thinking about sending your chest forward and your shoulders back, and maybe even taking your hands to your hip points. Really root down into your seat. And you know what? Just exaggerate it, rock a little bit left and right here. Feel your buttocks drop, outer thighs drop. And so for those of you guys who take my vinyasa class, my gentle classes are a little different. Just really finding a way to root down and connect today. So let's go ahead, come back to center with the spine and exhale, hinge from the hips. You can use your hands whenever you need them. Just bring the arms forward. Allow yourselves to drop down. Keep the buttocks rooting down. Maybe the forehead descends down to the mat. If it doesn't descend to the mat, no worries. Just go wherever your body allows. And for those of you who do have your head down, you may wish to take your hands to your occipital ridge and just gently lengthen the back of the neck by dropping the chin, just putting a little bit of very light tension or pressure along the back of the head there. Connect to your breath. Keep rooting your seat. Lengthen through your lower back. Feel the piriformis muscles release a little bit here. Draw the shoulders back. Relax your jaws. And then extend your arms forward. Inhale, lift your chest, maybe looking up toward the ceiling. Now come up onto your fingertips and pull your belly and draw yourselves in maybe a couple of inches, a little bit closer to yourself. Root your seat, draw your right hip back, and let's walk the upper body around to the left. So you're going to look over your left shoulder. I'm just going to check in with you guys. All right. Draw your right hip back, fan your right rib cage out, kind of sink down, hug your inner elbows in, looking over your left shoulder. Keep fanning that right rib cage out. Good. Now slowly bring that left hand, palm, forearm down. Inhale, reach your right arm up, looking up. Just kind of look up at your wrist, reaching your fingertips up toward the ceiling. Lengthen your spine, and then reaching your right arm up and over. So I want you to make sure you're keeping your right buttock rooted, so you don't have to come down this low. You want to make sure your right buttock is down. That's going to be basically what's letting you know whether you are or aren't in the right position, is that right buttock rooting down. And I'm going to let my right arm just drop a little bit. It's kind of hanging down, not quite touching my hand, but now I'm at my wrist here. And then we'll inhale, rise up. And then exhale, release. And just kind of shake out a little bit left, right, feeling kind of the asymmetry, how the right side of your body is a little longer. And stay on this side for a little bit longer. Bring the fingertips down to the mat, lift your chest and lengthen your spine, hands back to the hips, and let's once again exhale, hinge forward, keeping the seat rooted, reaching your arms forward, lengthen your spine. So you should feel a little bit different in the stretch, a little bit shorter on the left side, doing that on purpose, feeling how these stretches kind of, in a short period of time, can effectuate a lot of change in the body. So now let's go ahead once again, inhale, lift up, kind of draw into yourself an inch or two. I'm up on my fingertips. Draw your shoulders back, lift your chest, and then we're going to exhale, walk the upper body around to the right. So you're going to look over your right shoulder, root the left seat, fan the left rib cage out, hug your inner elbows in. I'm just going to check in real quickly. Good. Now keep rooting that left seat, looking over your right shoulder, get a stretch, feeling the left side of the ribs into the oblique a little bit, get a stretch here. Good. Now we're going to bring the right forearm down, palm down. Inhale, reach your left arm up, look up toward the left wrist, fingertips reaching up, and then we'll exhale, come up and over to your right. I like to look up toward the ceiling. Just really root the left seat, fan the left rib cage out, and you can let that left hand come down a little bit. Just keep pressing down into the mat with your left buttocks. I really want you to focus on that. Don't worry about how far down your stretch is or how far down your right arm is. Go more into that stretch and really draw that left shoulder back. We're going to inhale, sit up tall, and then exhale, release. And you should feel much more even on both sides, a little more centered into your body. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and switch the cross of the legs, the opposite leg in front or on top. And lately, my own practice, I've been just kind of focusing more on this alignment here, a nice wide foundation, and really feeling rooted a little bit less about going into full lotus or half lotus. Say hi, Milo. So once again, we're going to inhale, sit up tall. This time, hold on to your shins, and I want you to exhale, hinge. Once again, focusing on the chest, going forward, lengthen, lengthen. And I'm going to keep my arms in for this and maybe walk my hands out a little bit forward. Open up my elbows out to the sides, draw the shoulders back and hinge. This is just very kind of impromptu, unplanned class in terms of what I'm doing. I'm just kind of taking you through maybe a practice I would do today. With the way I'm feeling and just trying to stay a little more grounded and connected to the earth. So I want you to just shift a little bit left and right. Keep rooting the seat, of course. You might feel a little bit of a stretch in the shoulders, right, as you move around into your side body, certainly into the back. Now let's come back to center, drop the chin, and we'll inhale, restack the spine one vertebra at a time. Once you come to the top, I want you to pause here, draw the shoulders back. Let's exhale, rotate the upper body to the left, right arm to the outside of the left thigh, left arm is behind you. For those of you guys who can, feel free to snake that left hand up into the right inner thigh. Inhale, elongate ears over the shoulders, shoulders over your hips, and exhale, rotate once again. Good, now inhale, return the spine to center, maybe roll your shoulders back, lifting one shoulder up. Just move around a little bit in between, so just kind of taking the practice really slowly today. Relax the shoulders, and then let's exhale, rotate the upper body to the right, and again, the right arm can be behind you, or if you can, snake it around to your left inner thigh, just wrap it around behind you. And inhale, elongate the spine. Exhale, rotate once again. Good, now inhale, return to center. Once again, just move the shoulders around. Maybe you move your hips a little bit, or rib cage a little bit side to side. Just kind of enjoying the movement. Good. I know it can be a challenge to sit like this for a while. What I can promise you is if you don't do it often, right, it does stay challenging, but for those of you who do it more and more often, it becomes a little less of a challenge, and you kind of come home to sitting here. And I know that a lot of my gentle students can do that, so just work with it. So now we're going to inhale, reach the arms behind us, interlace the fingers, draw the knuckles back, lift your chest, and then maybe the knuckles come down to the ground, open up through the chest, lifting your chest up, draw the tailbone back slightly, maybe move a little bit left, right. So you're going to notice it's a little tougher to breathe here. It's totally normal. Just expand out through the chest, a couple more breaths. Good, now we'll inhale, return to center, and exhale, release the arms. So we're going to transition, up to all fours. We're going to go ahead and set ourselves up. So I'm kind of particular about alignment, as my regular students know. So I want you to place your wrists directly underneath your shoulders, your knees directly underneath your hips. And for these, let's tuck the toes, really pull your belly in and up. So we're going to go ahead, exhale, tilt the tailbone between the thighs, hollow out the belly, round the thoracic spine, and go ahead and rock back slightly in your angry cat. Make sure your heels aren't kind of rolling in toward one another. Then inhale, draw the tailbone back, lifting your chest, collarbones spread, and just kind of unfurl the spine forward. And then again, exhale, tuck your toes, hollow out your belly, round your thoracic spine, rock back slightly in an angry cat. And then inhaling, pointing the toes, lengthen the tailbone, unfurl the spine, shoulders back, chest forward, cow. And one more time like this. Let's exhale, tuck the toes, hollow out the belly, round the thoracic spine, rock back slightly in your cat. And then inhale, point your toes, lengthen your tailbone, unfurl your spine, cow. And return to a neutral spine, tuck your toes, keep pulling your belly in and up, draw your shoulders back. Push away from gravity here. So I'm going to keep my left knee underneath my left hip. I'm going to inhale, extend my right leg back. I'm just going to scooch forward a little bit and press the ball of the foot into the mat. Pull the belly in. Draw your chest forward and your right hip is forward. So I'm going to keep the right hip pointing down. Pull the abdominals in and up. So you're still doing belly work. Now from here, you're going to inhale, float that right leg up and actually transfer my weight a little bit forward here. Press evenly into both hands. Start to really press into that left foot. We're going to inhale, open up that right hip. Right hand's going to start to lift up. Tuck the left seat underneath you. Pull your belly in and inhale, reach your right arm up. So you can look up toward the ceiling here. Just a brief moment here. Breathe. Good, then we'll exhale, release the right arm down. Square the hips. And then let's sweep the right leg out to the right. We're going to keep the toes facing in the direction of the fingers here. Draw your hips back, lengthen your spine. Take a moment here, press into that right foot, feel the right inner thigh, really get a stretch. And then move your hips around a little bit. So I've opened up my right arm a little bit out to the right off my mat. Just move the hips left to right. And then bring your right wrist underneath your right shoulder and just bring that right knee back in underneath the hip. Move around a little bit, left, right. Same thing other side. We're going to inhale, extend that left leg back, press the ball of the foot into the mat, square the hips, pull the belly in and up once again. Left hip point, points straight down. Push away from gravity. And then we'll inhale, float that left leg up, keep squaring your hips. So from here, right hand stays down, tuck the right seat underneath you. You're going to inhale, lift that left arm up, stack your shoulders, stack your hips, looking up, wrist up, Fingertips up, lengthen both sides of the waist, right? We want to use our abdominals here. Then we exhale, release the left arm down. Square the hips, and then we'll sweep that left leg out to the left, lining the ankle up with that left hip. Draw the hips back, especially that right hip back, and then move around a little bit. Just left and right, rocking around a little bit. Probably heard my hip pop a little bit there, releasing some tension. Good. I'm going to walk my left hand off the mat just a little bit, find a little more space. Good. Left hand back to the mat and bring that left knee back in. Let's take a moment, point the toes, shift the buttocks back, bringing the buttocks to the heels or toward the heels, and exhale, soften into a child's pose, forehead toward or to the mat. And I'm going to move a little bit left, right, release some tension. So you're going to open up into the outer hips, release some of the tension in the piriformis. You can even take your hands to the small of the back here and just rest for a moment or two. Take a deep in breath and a complete out breath, just really trying to press down into the ground. Good, now we're going to bring the wrists underneath the shoulders. Shoulders are back, elbows are in, and we'll inhale, sit up for a moment. From here, I'm going to transition us back onto all fours. What I'd like you to do is just walk your knees back behind your hips. Pull your belly in and just lower yourselves down onto your mat. So we want to keep the hip points down, the pubic bone down, point the toes. I'm going to go a little wider with my legs, right? Those of you guys who take yoga with me know, big proponent of widening the legs, especially for those of us with any sacrum low back issues. So we're going to go ahead, let's start off in Sphinx pose. So we're going to go ahead, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. Your palms are down. I'm trying to anchor my hip points down, pull my belly in. So you saw how I was just kind of letting the belly hang there. Now I'm pulling my belly in. I'm still keeping my hip points anchored. Wrists underneath the shoulders. Draw the shoulders back, skull bone back, looking straight ahead. Think of the Sphinx in Egypt. Pressing down into the tops of my feet, engaging my buttocks lightly. So that's a hyper squeeze, and that's no squeeze whatsoever. I'm just going into a little bit of a contraction in the buttock muscles. Draw the skull bone back, pull your belly in. Just bend your right knee. Keep the right hip point down. You're going to notice that you kind of tilt a little bit left, right. I want you to keep anchoring the right hip point down. Just be here for a moment. And then flex the foot. Relax your shoulders. And then bring that right leg back down. We're going to exhale, bend the left knee. Same thing. Anchor the left hip point down. Keep pressing evenly into both forearms, elbows. Relax your shoulders. Flex your left foot. Point and then release. Now let's exhale slowly. Bring the spine down. And turn your head to the right and rest your hands on the small of the back. Let the front of the elbows just drop. Just take a moment here to rest. Really rooting down into the mat. And then let's turn the other cheek, same thing. Just rest for a moment. Good, now we'll bring our chin back to center. Now walk the wrists slightly behind the shoulders. So kind of hugging your rib cage. Hug your inner elbows in. Draw your shoulders back. Keep your head on straight. Now hug the inner elbows in once again. Inhale, lift up into cobra. So I'm not going to my max cobra here. Just wherever feels comfortable. Again, I might widen my legs a little bit so you can pressure off the low back. Keep pulling your belly in. Draw the shoulders back. Drag the mat towards you with your hands. Almost like you're trying to send your hips forward. Hug your inner elbows in. Breathe. Anchor the quads, tops of the feet. And then exhale, slowly come back down. Pause a moment here. You'll notice your heart rate's up a little higher. And then one more back extension here. We're going to interlace the fingers behind us. Draw the knuckles back. Float the arms up off the chest. Off the back, I should say. And then inhale, float your head up, chest up, legs up. Turn your head to the right. Maybe look over the right shoulder and lean the upper body a little bit to the left. And then inhale, return to center, and same thing to the left, rotate to the left, maybe lift the legs up a little higher, look over the left shoulder. Inhale, return to center, and exhale, release. So I'm going to walk the wrists underneath my shoulders this time. Shoulders back, elbows in. Inhale, come up to all fours. Big toes together, knees apart. Exhale, child's pose. Forehead back down, toward or to the mat. Seat back onto the heels if possible. Maybe even hands to the small of the back and just release some tension. Remember, you can rock a little bit side to side here. Good, we'll walk the wrists back underneath the shoulders. Shoulders are back, elbows are in. Sit on up. Take a moment, draw your inner thighs together here in hero's pose. Draw the shoulders back. Good. Now we're just going to come on up. Let's take a seat once again. So go into a little bit more forward flexion. Always remember when you do extension, even if it's gentle extension like we've done, to always counter with a little bit of forward flexion. So what I'd like you to do here is go ahead and extend your right leg straight in front of you. So it's, my foot's in the way, it's kind of recording on two different devices. So I'm having, kind of seeing what's going on both. But anyway, flexing your right foot, once you bring the left sole of the foot to the right inner thigh, and really try to line up the second toe here with your hip point, which is at the front of the hip, not the outer hip. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. I want you to press your left thigh down. If you notice you're having a hard time with that, you grab your block and you just use it to support your outer thigh. You want to keep both sits bones rooted, right? And you can use the block on any different height that works for you. Draw the shoulders back. We're going to track our flexion directly over that right leg. So we're going to inhale, elongate the spine, and then exhale, hinge and fold. So my back has been, some of you guys know, my back is a little spotty, right, on most days. And lately I've been kind of focusing more on gentle yoga, doing my bark here at home, and doing Pilates and going for walks and really focusing on strengthening the back. So my yoga practice lately has consisted of a lot of just gentle movement. The back is still tight. So what I'm trying to do here is really draw my tailbone back, really deeply hinge at the hips, and soften my chest toward my thigh. I can catch my foot. Those of you who can't, feel free to go to your calf or ankle. Now, of course, you can always use a strap, but I think sometimes with the use of the strap, we get a little overzealous and pull. So I'm going to want you here to hold back a little bit. I don't need you to be rounding the spine. So I don't want to see this kind of like C-spine here. Not that there's anything wrong with C-spine. Use it in certain things. But what I'd like you to focus on here is elongation, really lengthening the spine. The flexion is going to give you a little more stretch along into the back line of the leg, into the hamstring. Good, now we'll inhale, go ahead and come on up. Now let's exhale, rotate to the left, right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Left arm is behind you. Maybe snaking your arm to the inner thigh. Notice I check in with my right foot to make sure it's still in flexion. Good, then we'll inhale, return back to center. We'll switch sides, exhale, straighten the left leg out. Line the second toe up with the hip point, and we'll bring the right sole of the foot to the left inner thigh. And so I like to switch things up in terms of which side goes first. I know a lot of times people just do right side. I like to switch it out kind of in fairness and, lefties, righties. And also to keep the body guessing a little bit. Again, you can use a block if you need it. And pull the flesh out from beneath you. And then exhale, hinge and fold. And again, reaching forward, lengthening your spine and finding your breath. Try to soften your chest, relaxing the muscles of the face. Really important to do as well. And keep flexing your foot. And again, we're trying to find length. We're not trying to get as far down as quickly as possible. It's not the point of yoga. It's also certainly not the point of gentle yoga. And some of the poses that we do, even though they're gentle, you're still going to feel a stretch. You're still going to feel your belly needing to pull in and up. That doesn't change because it's a gentle practice, right? Gentle just, to me, is a little bit less about pushing and forcing and more about, I'm just going to listen to my body, see what my body needs today. Just keep softening, lengthening your spine. Deep, steady breaths. Good, then we'll inhale, come on up once again. Keep the flexion in the left foot, and then exhale, rotate your upper body to the right. And again, if you can snake your right arm behind you. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale, add a gentle twist. Good, now let's return to center. So we're going to extend both legs out. We want us to do a little bit of inner hip work, right? So a lot of times we do external hips. Nothing wrong with that. We need to open them up. But we'll do a little bit of internal work as well. Let's go ahead and bring that left sole of the foot back in toward that right inner thigh. And this time I want you to take your right knee in toward that left foot. So now we've got that internal rotation going. So I want you to sit up tall. And you can go ahead and snake that left foot up into the inner thigh groin region. I'm flexing my right foot. Big proponent of that. Stabilizes the right knee, especially when you're putting it under a little bit of pressure or tension. It's a little more like a kind of a mermaid variation from Pilates. But what I really like is that internal rotation that happens right here where the thigh bone plugs into the hip socket. And what you really want to do is root down. If your booty's lifted, again, grab the block, sit on the block. There's nothing wrong with using it. So I want you to just find a seat. Press down into the inner thigh. Try to square your shoulders over your hips. It can be a little bit uncomfortable because we have that internal rotation. I want you to feel it in the knee. I'm pretty much at my buttock here. If it's too much for you, right, you just extend your leg out a little bit, take some of the pressure off. For those of us with a little more mobility, this is where we feel the stretch. So just want you to be mindful of that. You can adjust out. So now let's go ahead. This time we're going to track our flexion over the hip points. I'm just going to center myself a little better here. So my hip points are pointing straight ahead. I'm going to bring my fingertips down. I'm going to exhale, hinge, and fold. I'm really careful coming down here because I do have that internal rotation. I'm going to have a little bit of a barrier to movement. So I'm going to kind of acknowledge that barrier to movement. So I'm really rooting down into the right inner thigh. I'm trying to keep my foot flexed. So I'm not putting too much pressure on my knee. My knee is not really feeling it, but I do feel a stretch in the muscles of the knees. So for those of us who do a lot of squatting, who do bar classes, who do pulsing movements, you're going to feel that stretch here in the knee. So it's really important to stretch out the knee, the tendons and muscles attached to the knee there. Keep lengthening your spine. Keep breathing. I'm not going to go into the fullest necessarily. I might kind of hinge down a little bit more, right? And I encourage you to do the same. Maybe take opposite hand to opposite elbow. Keep rooting the right buttock down and just see where your stretch lies. So both of my buttocks are down right now. Breathe. Just find your breath. Maybe you bring your head down. Good, now we'll inhale slowly, come on up. Just take a moment here, take the left hand. I'm going to line it up to my left outer, with my left outer hip. I'm just going to bring my palm down, then externally rotate. Draw my left shoulder back. I'm opening up my chest a little bit toward the ceiling. I'm going to reach my right arm up and lean back a little bit. Keep rooting that right seat. And maybe lean that right arm back, 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 like you're trying to touch the wall behind you. Lift your chest. And then exhale, sweep the right arm down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, up, over, exhale, down and around. 1 more time, inhale, up, over, exhale, down and around. Now reverse it. Inhale, back, up, exhale, forward and down. Again, inhale, back, up, exhale, forward and down. 1 more time, inhale, back up, exhale, forward and down. Let's come on up. Good, you should feel that release in the shoulder, release in the side body. And now we're going to exhale, straighten out the legs. Just shake them out a little bit, release some tension. Always bend your knees and maybe give a light little tap outer side of your wrist, or sorry, fist to the quadricep to release any tension there. We'll set up for the other side. So now we're going to sweep that right sole of the foot to the left inner thigh. I like to go pretty high up into the groin if I can. You're bringing your left knee in towards your right foot. Now for me, my left heel is pretty much up against the left buttock. But again, you can slide away depending on your mobility. Please keep the left foot flexed, root the left seat. And again, I'm tracking shoulders over the hips. So I'm going to make sure I'm sitting down, both buttocks down. You can rock forward and adjust the buttocks. So you just gently pull the buttock back. Relax the shoulders, root the seat, hands to the ground. And we're going to exhale, fold. So for me, this side's feeling a little tighter. I can really feel that internal rotation. So I'm going to move slowly, really try to bring that left buttock down. This is important to note for those of us in this industry, for those of us not. We all have injuries. We all have something going on with our bodies, something that's tight, something that doesn't move symmetrically, completely normal. Just work with the body that you have on any given day. And a lot of it's up here too. So it's going to affect how your practice looks, how it feels, etc. So yesterday I did a lot of working out, a lot of bar movements, Pilates, squats, went for a long walk, which is what I've been doing pretty much as often as possible to get outside, all by myself, social distancing. I'll probably do it later today. Seen a couple of you guys out there. But a lot of time, right now it's really important to take care of ourselves, do what we can to keep as much normalcy to life. So, moving as you can, reaching out. Let's go ahead and see if we can come down a little deeper, right? Maybe opposite hand to opposite elbow, just kind of folding down. Draw your shoulders back, connect to your breath. Good, now we'll slowly come on up. Realize I'm at the 30-minute point, so it's probably going to be a 45-minute class. Let's exhale, rotate to the right. So left arm to the outside of the right thigh, right arm is behind you. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale, add a gentle twist and keep rooting the buttock down. Then we're going to come back to center. I'm going to take that right hand to the outside of the hip, just kind of track it. And inhale, reach your left arm up. Start to rotate your chest to the left. Then go ahead and reach that left arm back, lifting. Draw your shoulders back. Now we're going to exhale, start to sweep the arm down. Inhale it around and up. Exhale down. Inhale, around and up. Now I can't remember if I did do the twist on the other side, and if I didn't, I apologize. That happens. I'm pretty sure I did. And one more time. Now we reverse it. Exhale around down, inhaling it up. This kind of, again, happens, right? Trying to let things go. We're all imperfect. I'll make mistakes. Good, then we'll inhale, sit on up. Now we'll straighten the legs out. Just kind of shake them out a little bit. Maybe bend the knees, and if you need to, a little tap out of the quads, hips. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together. Let's bring the heels in toward the groin. Not one of the poses that's come super easy for me, but I'm going to have us adjust a little bit. So we're going to pull the flesh out from beneath us. And then from here, walk your heels in, but then take your hands to your outer hips and walk your groin and buttocks in. Like we did on the other position, you can take a couple of yoga blocks to the outside of the thighs. So you can hold on to ankles or feet. You'll notice I turn my feet out a bit my feet are pretty mobile. Just feels good for me. You can keep the soles of the feet together. It's going to do a little bit more work into the inner thighs. And so, you know what? I'm going to keep that because my inner thighs are feeling a little tight. As you can see, my right side's a little tighter than my left. So we're going to inhale, sit up tall, and exhale, hinge and fold. It's another one of those poses that on any given day, there are days I can get my forehead down to the ground. There are days that I can't. I think today is one of those can't days. What I'm doing here is just lengthening my spine, and for right now, pressing my forearms, elbows into my inner thighs. You can really see my right side's a little bit tighter today. So you can see that my right leg's lifting up a little higher. I'd also like you to, whenever you're practicing this pose, if you feel like you've reached your edge, I kind of feel like I've encountered my first edge here, certainly in my sacrum. So I'm going to do is inhale back up a little bit, and then exhale, lengthen, hinge, and fold. And what you usually find is you make a little more room for deeper flexion. Then you want to just kind of hang out, feeling this along the inner thighs and groin. And I'm going to try to see if I can go a little deeper. So I'm going to inhale, come back up, and then exhale, fold. It's counterintuitive, right? Kind of backing off to go deeper, but sometimes it's kind of what we need to do. I'm going to actually release my feet and see if I can't just elongate my spine and keep rooting my seat and just working with gravity a little bit here. Not really pulling, right? Can't pull. Not holding onto my feet. That's one of the things with this pose when you're holding onto your feet or ankles. We're tempted to pull. And sometimes that does help, but I want you to keep pulling because you'll notice that then you'll get a corresponding pull in your sacrum, which is what we're trying to avoid. Just a couple more breaths here. Then we'll inhale, bring the spine back up. And before we come down, so I'm going to kind of transition us down into a little bit of supine work, and then we'll transition into a little bit of Shavasana. I would like you to bring your strap and your yoga block with you in case you want to use it, or in case we do use it. So I'm going to turn, face the short side of my mat, and then from here, what I'm going to do is bring the soles of the feet to the ground and kind of walk my heels in. Maybe you're 6 inches or so away from your buttocks. I want you to sit up nice and tall, lift your chest, draw the shoulders back, and just lift the heels up, float the balls of the feet up, float the toes up, and just find your balance, pulling your thighs in towards your chest in towards your thighs. Not really a gentle movement for most of us. I find this movement very comforting. It's something that I do enjoy doing. So what we're going to do is kind of turn it into a little bit of rolling action. So we're going to drop the chin toward the chest, keep hugging the thighs in towards you. Since it's yoga, kind of just flex your feet a little bit, fan your toes out. We're going to exhale, rock back onto our shoulder blade tips, and inhale, rock up, drawing the chest up at the top. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, roll up. Now I would reverse the breath in Pilates, but exhale, rock back. back. Inhale, roll up. So for those of you taking my Pilates classes, breath is a little different in many occasions. One more time. Let's exhale, roll back. Inhale, roll up. Then reach your arms out just slightly forward of the shoulders. Maybe lift your legs up so the calves are to parallel, or maybe lift your legs up into Ardha Navasana variation. Pull the belly and lift your chest, holding here for 3, 2, 1. Let's bend the knees and roll onto our backs. Let's bring the soles of the feet to the mat. So we're going to walk the heels in toward the buttocks. Hip points point straight up. Pull your belly in. I'm just going to adjust my clothing. Hands are down on either side of the feet and hips. Shoulders down into the mat all the way to your fingertips. And for some of you with long arms, you'll probably be able to even catch your ankles if you wanted to. Don't have to. My feet are right up against my buttocks. So we're going to inhale, tilt the tailbone up, pull your belly in. This is not your traditional neutral yoga bridge. So notice my butt cheeks are up. My low back is imprinted for a moment. I'm pulling my belly in. My tailbone is aiming up. Press down into the hands. Now peel yourselves up. I'm not going to go for my biggest bridge. Hugging my inner thighs in, working into the buttocks. You can see glute heels are engaged. Press down into the mat. Once you lift up onto the balls of the feet, pull the belly in, kind of hug into the midline. Maybe walk your feet in a little closer. Some of you may wish to catch your ankles. Tuck in underneath, bringing your shoulders under. And I'm going to interlace my fingers. Breathe. Pull your belly in, keep the rib cage in. Exhale and tuck the shoulders, releasing the spine, and bring your knees into your chest. Wrapping your arms around your shins, rocking a little bit left and right. Good, now let's bring both feet down to the ground. And straighten your left leg out, flexing your foot. Bring your right knee into your chest. Wrapping your arms around your hamstring or shin. Flexing your right foot. So we got both feet flexed. I want you to protect that right knee with the flexion. So you're going to inhale, extend your right leg up. Try to line the ankle up with the hip. Hold that there, lengthen your right buttock away. Grab your strap. So you're going to elongate the strap, line it up with your chest, and then bring it to the lower ball of the right foot. Shorten the strap as you need to. And for right now, just traction the thigh bone into the hip socket, so just kind of plug it in. Reaching through your right heel. Draw your shoulders back and lengthen your right buttock away. Now we're going to exhale, start to draw the right leg toward us. And yet lengthen the right buttock away as you draw your right leg toward you. So I'm going to create that opposition there. Going to stretch along the hamstring, back of the leg, maybe into the calf. Lengthening into the Achilles. Okay, now I'm trying not to imprint my low back. Try to keep neutral spine. So you're going to take your straps in your right hand. I'm going to left arm out to T. And then we're going to open the right leg out to the right. Keep anchoring the left side down. So another trick is just place your left hand on your hip point. Keeping your left shoulder and buttock down, left foot down. So my right leg is almost to the ground here. You don't need to get your right leg to the ground. Go wherever your body allows. Notice that my belly is pulling in. I'm going to stretch along your inner thigh, groin. Now inhale, bring your right leg up. Take the straps in the left hand. Shorten the straps. Might see another kitty come into the screen. Open the right arm out to T, and then roll that right leg over to the left. That is Michigan. He is now in the screen. Lengthen your right buttock away. Flex your right foot, and turn your head to the right. So I'm on my left outer hip. I'm lengthening my right buttock away to really maximize the stretch that I'm getting here. Feeling this along the IT band, down into the calf even. And inhale, let's bring that right leg up. Strap in either hand. See if you can give yourself a little more stretch. Keep reaching through the right heel. Those of you who'd like to, maybe exhale, bring your forehead toward or to that right shin, anchoring the left side down. And then exhale, release your spine. And release your right leg. Go ahead and measure your legs. You're going to notice your right leg's a little longer. Probably your right hip's a little higher. Same thing with the rib cage. We'll even ourselves out. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to bend my right knee because my back's a little tight, and then it's going to assist me to lift my left leg up. So we're going to go ahead, extend the left leg up, straighten your right leg out, flex your right foot, ankle in line with the hip. And then go ahead, back off a little bit. I skipped a step. So we're going to go ahead and bring the left knee into the chest. Again, it happens. Good, we're going to flex the foot. Remember, you can hold on to your left hamstring if you need to. Keep flexing that right foot. And now we'll inhale, extend that left leg up once again. Keep lengthening the spine, draw that left buttock away. Now take the strap, wrap it around the ball of the left foot. So I like to go to the lower ball, higher arch. Reaching through your left heel, lengthen your left buttock away. So you want to create that elongation here. It's almost like you can hook your left thumb into your hip crease here and lengthen it away. So tractioning, plugging in, and then start to draw the leg towards you. I'll try to keep that right leg anchored. Good. And then we'll take the straps to the left hand and open the right arm out to see, or if you like to just go right to the hip point to anchor yourself down, you'll exhale, open the left leg out to the left and turn to the head to the right. So I've got pretty mobile and open hips. I'm still anchoring my right side down. So if your leg doesn't come down as far as mine does, that's fine. Everybody's bodies are different. So just be mindful to work within your range of motion. Keeping the right side anchored, that's going to be your feedback for you that you're doing this pose safely and correctly. We're going to inhale, bring that left leg up. Take the straps in the right hand. Open the left arm out to T. Now we're going to exhale, roll onto the right outer hip. Lengthen your left buttock away. So you want to feel, again, that elongation here. Notice I'm flexing my right foot. My right foot's turning is facing to the right, so is my left. I'm anchoring. That left shoulder is down. I'm just trying to find length along the side of the body. Okay, then we'll inhale, return that left leg back up, strap in either hand. Pull the belly into another stretch, drawing that left leg towards you, maybe bringing your head up. Today, my forehead is not going to touch my left leg, and that's fine. Anchoring the right leg down. Then exhale, release your shoulders, neck, and head. Remove the strap. Release the left leg down. Measure your legs. They should be even once again. Good. Now, before I take us to Shavasana, we're going to walk the heels back in toward the buttocks. Setting up for a bridge. I'm going to have you grab the block. You can take your block. You can use it on a couple of levels. This is not a cork block, so I wouldn't go to the high block, the high level. So you can use it flat or on its second kind of vertical plane. Elbows on either side of the rib cage, palms face one another. We're going to inhale, lift up into a neutral bridge. Pull your abdominals in. You're going to slide the block underneath your sacrum. It's that flat shelf at the base of the spine. It's just beneath your lumbar curve, just above where your glutes curve out. Find a nice little flat shelf. Just kind of let yourself rest here. Take a moment, maybe straighten your legs out just a little bit. I'm going to widen my legs. Release your arms. Pull your belly in and breathe. And then as you get comfortable, you can go ahead and straighten both legs out. Hips will be lifted. Pull your abdominals in. Get a nice stretch into your hip flexors. You can even reach your arms overhead. Nice big stretch. I'm letting my feet flop out today. You nod your head no a couple times. Just breathing, letting your body start to drop. When you need to, you can bring your feet to the ground. See if you feel anything in your back. And exhale my arms down. Press down into the shoulders and hands. Inhale, float the hips up off the block. Remove the block, set it aside. And then exhale, pull your belly and lift your hips up. Tilt your tailbone up and lower your upper back down. Middle back down. Lower back down. Hips, buttocks, tailbone to a neutral spine, maintaining the natural curves of your spine. Open your arms out to T. Let's exhale, release the knees to the left and the head can go to the right here. Gentle twist. And then inhale, nose and knees to center. And then let's exhale, release the knees to the right and the head to the left. Good, nose and knees to center. Let's bring the knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around your hamstrings or shins. Give yourself a little squeeze. Rock a little bit left and right. And exhale, curl your upper body up, nose toward or between the knees. You can get between your knees, catch your feet, curl up into a tighter little ball. Drop the shoulders. And exhale, release. And go ahead and straighten your legs out to the corners of the mat. Let your feet flop out. Release your arms on either side of your body. So really important. Let the shoulders lie flush. Turn the palms up and slide the arms away from your body, about 45 degrees. Palms turned up so you can relax your shoulders. Head on straight, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Allow the weight of the skull bone to drop down. Weight of your shoulders and arms to drop down. Lower back and buttocks. The length of both legs. Down into the heels and feet. Now each in breath to expand your abdomen, rib cage, and chest. And each out breath to create a subtle recoiling inward of the chest, rib cage, and abdomen. Just keeping your mind's awareness on your breath. That would be my kitty drinking water in the background. I encourage you to stay here as long as you'd like. I'm going to start to transition out. So I'm going to start to wiggle my toes and my fingers. And then rotate ankles and wrists in both directions. Relaxing the arms of the legs, bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. Bringing the knees in toward the chest. I'm going to wrap my arms around my hamstrings or shins. Exhale, curl my upper body up, rock a little bit left and right. And then just for today, I'm going to roll onto my left side. So I can face you guys. Right palm to the earth in front of the heart. And inhale, sit up. So encouraging you guys to continue your practice. I'll be doing some videos a little more regularly now. And sharing them with you. Feel free to share them to others. If you did want to give a donation for this class, right, my PayPal is yogini4877@gmail.com, YOGINI4877@gmail.com. It would be appreciated. And hopefully I will see you guys in person sometime soon. Otherwise, next couple days or maybe even tomorrow, do another class. Feel free to shoot me an email. Same email address. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you. Namaste.